Welcome back to the Camino Coach Show. I'm your host, Craig Muirhead, and today we've got an absolute legend in the world of motorcycle racing joining us. Lorenzo Baldassarri, Red Bull Rookies champion, Moto2 race winner, World Supersport title contender, and now making his move to MotoE in 2025. Before we jump in, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Let's get to it. Okay, so we're joined today by Lorenzo Baldassarri. Hi, Lorenzo. How are you?
Hello everyone. Good, thank you.
Are you good? How's your off-season treating you?
Yes, I'm preparing the new season, new challenge, new paddock for me again to MotoGP paddock. So I'm very motivated because I don't know how will be this MotoE. So I'm curious to discover this new challenge, new championship, and for sure I'm happy to come back to MotoGP paddock.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. It'll be an exciting year in the MotoE championship. If we rewind a little bit and we go back sort of right to the beginning of your riding, take us back to the start. What drew you to motorcycle racing in the first place? And when did you decide that you wanted to do this for a living?
Yes, I started when I was a child because my cousin and my aunt had motorbike. So my one MV and one Kawasaki, and my parents was not coming from motorcycle world. My dad had an horse, so he didn't have nothing, no moto, no scooter. So I was like, just want to go on my bike on my cousin bike every day. I was crying because just hitting the engine and cannot go with him. So my aunt bought a bike to my cousin and another. This is another one, another cousin, but he didn't like the motor, so I stole him bike, and my first trying was that. And then my father bought me a motorcycle when I start going with my bike without helping of the extra wheels. I decided to take off, and then he booked me a mini cross. I started with the mini cross, and then after like first trying when I was 4.5 years old, first trying in with pocket bike on the road. From there, I decided to jump on the asphalt pocket bike, and my life going that direction. Then first race was at the minimum age of 7 years old. Yeah, when I
Okay.
was seven, first race with the pocket bike, and then growing up, many also difficult moments from my parents. Uh, Also, we were deciding also to stop many times, but was my passion was bigger than all the difficult moments, and I start racing, growing up, winning races. So I went to Spain with my father that supported me. I started racing there, and then my first year in World Championship was in 2013, and then from there became my profession, my
Ah,
job.
fantastic.
Yeah,
And can you remember your first race? Can you remember that 7-year-old race?
I remember. Yeah, I remember. Yeah, I was like going. I remember one race very well. I'm not sure was the first one, but for sure was a good one because I was competitive, but just mm, not experienced. So I was very excited, and I missed the start. I was like I had jump start when the start, but I didn't understand well, so I started with the red. When the red was on, I started. I was very fast, but then I got a penalty, and I finished fifth
Okay.
with a jump start. Yeah.
Okay.
But
Great.
also I remember very well my first race in a big track that was from the karting to the car track in Valencia. When for my first time, I rode a bike with gearing. Was 70 cc. Was like the name of the race was like one race at the end of the year in Valencia, and many riders were also difficult to qualifying for the race, and I was like lost. The first practice I was lost with this bike from a pocket bike to big one, and also in the like in track like Valencia was like in the airport. I was lost in the airport, and I finished seventh. I managed to
Ah,
finish seventh. Yeah,
fantastic. Fantastic. No, great.
War Festival was called War Festival.
Okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So they still have something like that for the mini bikes now, where they go to the world championships at the end of the season. Yeah, yeah. The Ovali, etc. So you went into Red Bull Rookies. You were in Red Bull Rookies at age 14, where you won that championship. So what was that like for you as an experience in Red Bull Rookies?
Yeah, this was another great experience for me, and coming from also yeah kart circuit, but also was riding in Spain with the before with the metric kit, and then with the 80cc, and then with pre-GP with Emilio. I was with Pecco, with Emilio Zamora team, with Pecco and Marquez. And then in 2011 was my first year in Rookies Cup, and I won that year. So it was strange because I started the first test in Estoril. I was completely lost. I saw these guys going so fast, and me, wow, how they go so fast. But then I was just riding, improving step by step, just enjoying. And that year I was the champion.
Fantastic.
So yeah, it was incredible.
And who else were you up against that season?
Sorry?
Who else was in that championship that season?
Yeah, I was fighting with Arthur Sissis, with
Yeah.
Alain Techet, and also Florian Alt. Also, I think Sissis was third year for him.
Yes.
And then I jumped to KTM IO team because he finished second. I had to go, but I didn't have the age. My age, I was not 14 years old. So for 1 year, I missed the chance to go to official team, to factory team with KTM.
Yes.
That was the perfect jump because when I jump in the Moto3, I was with Honda bike, but we were missing many horsepower, and also I was very tall because far from 2011 to 2012, I grew up a lot. Was like 10 centimeters more. So if you see the two ladders fit in 1 year were very different. So when 2012 I struggled more. So I won the first race in Jerez, but then was in the group. I was just struggling a lot on the straight. Then I finished, I think, seventh on the season. Yeah,
And you were with Grassini that year.
yeah, with Gresini. But then I jumped directly to Moto2 in 2014 because I was too big for Moto3.
And how was that? So it's a fast development from going from,
Yeah,
Red Bull
yeah,
rookies to
very
then being in
fast.
Moto2 2 seasons later.
Yeah, these years were all was going all very fast, no? And then
Yes.
it's like was like a wall because before was boom, 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 and then like the time stopped because I was Moto3, Moto2 first podium in 2015, 2016 first victory, And then I was in Moto2 until 2021. I was very close to MotoGP 2 times, but I remain Moto2 until 2021, and then Supersport, Superbike, again Supersport, and now MotoE. So
Yeah.
many change, many changes.
Well, we'll
Yeah,
delve into that in a little bit more detail for sure. But that first podium on the Moto 2 was in Austria, I think, in the
was
in
in
2000.
Australia. In Australia,
In
yeah, Phillip
Australia, sorry.
Island.
Yeah, in Australia, Phillip Island. How was that? I mean, how was that on a Moto 2, in your first season to get the podium there?
Yeah, it was great. Was my favorite track. So the tricky track because first year was like when I went there in Moto2. Also, I had a good race, good memories, but very difficult track because it's very fast and tight. So it was not easy to go fast. And then in 2015, I was there. I was like fourth. I had the third one. Was Lowe's Rins that skate, then Folger and me. So I saw Folger. I was catching him, but it was far. Say no, don't give up, don't give up, because you are today. Podium could be yours. Try, because maybe happens something that. Could for sure I feel that something happened and you could jump to the podium, and was catching Folger, pam 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 pam, and then when I caught him, I passed. I was feeling him like this, so was not for me. It was I can have the podium, but was not sure. No, he was there and was much more experienced than me, so if you think about it, you think, okay, not think because if you think more experience, I wait the last lap, but I was just doing my best. And then after 3 laps, I didn't hear anymore his engine, so he fed the tire. It was like flat tire and retired, breathe. I was like, is mine, the
Fantastic.
podium. When I saw the pit board, yeah.
Great. And if we fast forward 1 year to 2016, you got the absolute dream result in Misano to
Yeah.
win at your home Grand Prix, which is, 20 kilometers from your home. So, how was that experience to win in front of your Italian fans?
Yeah, Misano, I will never forget because was a great weekend for me. I had a good rhythm. I had a good qualifying first row. I was starting from third position, but from the Sunday morning, I was feeling that day was mine, no? And also jump unexpected, like unexpected things, like when we start. I was like, I expected that Zarco was trying to escape and win the race, but was not Zarco. Was Rins starting from eighth position. He started very well and escaped. So I was struggling to overtake Zarco, and then start struggling also overtakings with. We were losing time with Morbidelli, Lowe's, and we were in Bagar, but Rins was going. But I didn't lose my like my truth. I was pam pam catching, and also was like 2 seconds and a half. When I overtake the other riders, I start catching, and pam, tens by tens, I arrived to Alex like fourth laps to the end. He was doing also fast laps in the end, but also me improved like some tenth and was there. And then I overtook him 2 laps to go. Yeah, 2 laps to go. And then we were into the fast corners. He tried to attack me, but he was wide. So when he made the mistake, but I didn't know that I was pushing until the last corner. Yeah.
So that feeling that you woke up with on the Sunday morning, where you're going, I've got this, this is going to be a good day. Where do you think that feeling comes from? Do you feel it's from track knowledge, or it comes from having a really strong weekend, or where do you think that actually, if we could bottle it, we'd both be gazillionaires, but where do you think that feeling comes from?
I think I was feeling every race more confident, faster. The I missed the race like by some milli with Zarco in Mugello, and say no, I give the chance to win to no one. Today is mine because it's my track. It's Misano. I live here, and also this weekend I made all perfect. I was just going fast and not over pushing. So it was everything quite easy. So I managed to put also in the race to keep that calm and don't want to exaggerate. And so I won.
So do you feel like you're getting the pace to be at the front, but riding within yourself? You're not having to find something new. It actually feels like,
Yeah, do everything to win. Just put the things together and be and don't want to do crazy things.
yes, yeah, absolutely. No, fantastic. It's a great insight. It's a great
Mm.
insight. And as I say, to win your home Grand Prix is a double bonus.
Yeah, with all the people, Balda fan club there was in that corner. This also
Yes.
was an extra motivation.
And 2019, you started the season really strong.
Yeah,
The first four rounds, you were just away with. Was that also a similar thing where you were feeling you were riding within yourself for those
yeah.
first rounds of the season?
After the winter test, I was feeling great. I had everything I needed to win the championship. So I felt very confident also with my team. The atmosphere was good, was nice. And I won 3 races. I had I had the contact with Martin in Austin, so I crashed there. But then I went to Jerez. Was difficult weekend because they changed the tire. The rear tire I was struggling a lot. I had 2 crashes, but at the end I managed to win the race. And I was in Le Mans also. I was not that fast compared with the first 2 races where was coming everything very easy, but I was managing to go fast. So I qualifying 7, but on the wet, in the dry, I was quite fast. But then from I had a crash in the race. From there, I had an injury with my shoulder, and from there I missed the test in Barcelona, and went more every race was not. I was not like a championship leader because doing mistakes, crash, but because I didn't have the speed, I was not calm anymore, and I want just to recover, and in that mood, I was not like a title contender.
And it was who could make the most of the tire change, the tire regulation change that season that seemed to be the differentiator.
Yeah, the tire change. They adapt the setup of the bike in like in Barcelona test, injured and I couldn't go. So I was not also fast the race coming, but I found a way to be fast at the end. But I found a way to be fast on Sunday. So I was not calm, and many times I made a mistake because Barcelona I was struggling. I was not happy about finish 6 or 7, and I crashed. And then I was in Assen that I was starting. I was in Mugello. I was starting very back, like 18 or 20, and I finished fourth. I managed to finish fourth. But then in Assen, I started like 16th. I managed to come back, crazy, one of my best races. But the last lap, I decided to overtake Alex Marquez to win the race in a point that was too risk. So I crashed with him. So from that race, my head was not was going down because every time I was able to recover the weekend, but then from that mistake, it's like I didn't manage to come up again. Just yeah, I managed at the end of the season, but was too late.
Yeah. So in 2022, after years in Moto2, you made the switch to World Supersport.
Yeah,
So moving across to an R6, a production bike compared to the Moto2, what was that like?
yeah, it was a bit strange, different for sure. Different in the race bike when you feel like moving, closing the front, tuck the front, and moving is all very harder, and you don't feel so much movement. So when you are in the limit, also the limit bar you can you think the limit is here, but you can go push, and the R6 is like you feel the limit, you start moving, but it's not also you are crashing in the racing bike. When you feel this movement, you are crashing, but in R6 you can continue push, but the limit, okay, is not there, but you cannot. So you like live with these movements, but the limit is close. It's easy to arrive. It's easier to arrive in the limit. Then to make the step, for sure, is difficult, but it's
Yes,
easier to arrive. In the race bike, is difficult to arrive close to the limit.
yeah,
If you don't come from when you are young and you go to you are a child and you go later when you have experience from R6, it's harder to
yes.
adapt to the race bike. Yeah,
So you won 4 races that year and ended up
yeah,
runner-up in the championship, which gave you the opportunity to move up to World
yeah.
Superbike.
I won the first race in Aragon with a big moment in the last corner when I lost the front and I touched with Domi. Was like crazy
Um,
move. Mm.
well, we'll try and get a clip of that and put that in. Actually, we'll see if we can get a clip for that. So the transition to Superbike. So obviously, again, moving from what you knew in Moto2, then the R6, and then finally the Superbike. Adapting and transitioning to that bike, how was that for you?
Yeah, it was great because I was feeling less in Moto2, also in Supersport. Okay, maybe Moto Supersport R6 was a bit like comfortable for me that I'm big, but in Moto Superbike I was feeling perfect. The bike was enough big for me, for my body. So I was enjoying a lot from the first test, also for all the year. But yeah, you are enjoying, but when the result that don't come, you don't enjoy so much. You should switch off the screen. I try to do this, but also I made many steps during the season. So I arrived at the end of the season in Jerez that I made for me a very good racing. Arrived 16 or 17 seconds from Bautista that won the race, but was not enough because was the Yamaha didn't give me the chance to continue to gain more experience, but also was not good decision for me to go for my first year to a team that is the first year also for the team, and the bike that is also Yamaha bike that was not also the official. The factory team was struggling, and me was the new team, everything, no experience. So was a bit crazy jump, no? But okay, you can also, it's easy to say when you finish the year, no? But
And there never used to be that much transition. It was separate paddocks. You were in MotoGP, you stay in that paddock, and World Superbikes, the same. But now there's quite a lot of crossover. There's quite a lot of people moving from Moto3 to Supersport, the Moto2 to Supersport. So if you were talking to somebody that's making that transition this season, what advice would you give them?
for sure, to don't like think, okay, it's easy in super sport, is much easier or superbike. No, the level is higher year by year. Also, when I finished second, I was fighting with Domi. That in that year he was like in a level very very high because he took all the confidence from the first year. He won the championship, and the second year he was very very strong. And also from the riders, it's not just you have five riders good and then from six is not good. Every year, many riders very close, like Moto3 and Moto2. So also that very very good challenge. But what I don't like is like the level of the teams. Also for the money, there is a big gap from factory team to the others. So if you can manage to go quite well with bike, not factory, then they give you opportunity to ride them is a big step for sure.
Okay. So looking forward to this season, 2025, you're making another big step to a brand new championship again for you with Dynavolt Intact GP, and you're going to be racing in MotoE. So what drew you to that opportunity?
Yeah, for me, I think open again. I hope open again some opportunity in that paddock because okay, I think it's nice because I'm speaking with people that rode the bike. Is very nice. Is like they are happy while riding the bike, not just because they have to race. No, and I think will be a great experience. And then I hope will open a good opportunity for me because I don't want to stop in MotoE for sure in the future.
Okay. And MotoE is a completely different category with very short races and instant power delivery.
Yeah,
So, what are you excited about in that category, and what do you think will be the biggest challenge?
yeah, I think it's great the acceleration because also from 0 to 100 is 2 seconds and a half. And also, I see the races, rewatching the races, I see the smoke while opening the gas. So I think my style also is good for MotoE because much corner speed, also sliding, and the tires are smoking. And one thing I think is the challenge for me is to be fast from the beginning, to be fast, to adapt the bike and go fast. This is a big challenge because also in Moto2 I was fast from the second half of the race to manage the tire. Here we don't have to manage the tire. We have to be fast from the beginning. Also in the test of free practice, we don't have so much time to go fast. So this is good also if when you go to Moto2 or MotoGP, you don't have time to much time to ride the bike. So you have to be fast to from the beginning to put the bike in the way in the good setup. Yeah.
And do you feel that your experience in all the championships that you've been in is going to give you everything you need going into this new chapter?
Yeah, I think yes. I'm in good shape. I'm skills to be fast from the beginning. I have to be patient because the championship it doesn't seem so long, but it's long because are 7 rounds, but double races. So I think you have to be fast from the beginning, but also keep calm. If it's not, and then for sure enjoy because the first year, for sure, I enjoy like a kid. Like I was in Supersport, my first year in Supersport. I was enjoying like a kid. Also, if it was like a downgrade for me, no, from Moto2.
Yes. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So you touched on it earlier that you're looking for this being back in the MotoGP paddock to open more doors for you in the future. Long term, where do you see yourself in 5 years from now?
My dream is still the same from I was a child when I start seeing. Uh, I was watching then Valentino is my idol, so MotoGP is still my dream, and why not continue pushing and trying to be there? I don't feel I'm less strong that many riders are now in MotoGP. So never say never.
Very good. Yeah, no reason why not. No reason why not. Okay, so changing a little bit towards the sort of mental game, the work that you've done over the seasons to avoid, that overthinking mind and to be able to get yourself into that space where, like we talked at Misano, where you're just executing, you know what to do and you're just executing your plan. What work have you done for you to be able to be in that space more regularly and more frequently?
Yeah, for sure. Working in this area is very important because when you are just riding and you have the talent, you do all this like natural. You don't know why it happened, no? Or why you cannot manage that happen again. So to work on this aspect, to have this more normal is a big step to to have in your pocket.
And fighting for the front of races, so you've done all the work to qualify on the front of the grid, and then you're away with whoever you're up against. Staying calm and staying, calculated for those final laps. How easy or hard is that for you to be able to do?
Yeah, for me, this aspect was like more natural, no? Because we have some all the riders have different skills, and for me to manage the tires and also be calm and manage good the final laps was in my hand. But also I was making mistakes sometimes. Also working in this area, you never stop improving. You continue working like if you are better in aerobic running, okay, but you can improve. Also, like if you have a good strength, you are not good in aerobic. You work more in aerobic, but you also continue. You have to keep to work on your strength. But this was more the final part of the race was more for me was easier than the first laps or the qualifying lap.
And you felt managing the tire was your strength?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Every racer has setbacks in their career. What has been your hardest moments, and what do you think you learned from them?
Yeah, the um, the hardest moment I think 2029 and also my last year in Moto2 2021 was very different um, years, but I have learned a lot from the 2019 when I start doing these mistakes and I couldn't become a world champion. But also I learned from 2021 that I could approach different. Okay, for sure, to become world champion with this like package was impossible. But better for sure was possible, and this helped me in my approach in Superbike in 2023. That more or less was the same, but I managed to do better result, and enjoy and grow up much more than 2021 when I stopped in Moto2.
And on the flip side of that, what's your proudest moment? When was the time that you thought, this is why I do this?
For sure, the first win, first podium, and also when I managed to find the way to go fast again in 2019 and also in 2020, because in 2020 the same, I was second fighting for win in Qatar. Then I was completely lost with the change of the front tire, then COVID. But then after I struggled a lot, many races. The last two races, I was fighting with the guys that were fighting for the world championship. So I was there.
Yeah. So, one pre-race ritual that you'll never skip?
I when on the bike, I do some rituals in my mind. Then I stay close to my bike. I jump off my bike, stay very close, and then I jump again from the left side of the bike.
So you get on from both sides? Okay, okay. Have you always done that?
Yeah, last years, not always from the beginning. Yeah,
Okay.
that I jump, and I stay very close down, and then I jump from the left side.
Well, you mentioned that Valentino Rossi's your idol, and Valentino was the king of rituals and
Yeah,
procedures before he got on the bike. You know Valentino quite well?
yeah. I know very well. I was in the academy from 2000. I was from 2014, the end of 2014 to 2019,
Okay.
and I had the opportunity to stay much time, many trainings with him. Also this year again, I was in the 100 kilometers of champions, and I finished third. And every time I could train with him is great, because he's a great talent, but also a very good person and clever.
Yes, absolutely. The academy's always fascinated me. Obviously, it's been disbanded now, but it was built to bring on Italian young riders. And the structure and the amount of time that Valentino dedicated to that is proving by the names that are now, fighting in various championships. So it's but that must have been really quite an amazing thing. Obviously, Red Bull Rookies is also a fantastic environment for young riders to
Yeah.
come. But how would you compare the VR46 Academy to something like the Red Bull Rookies?
What he did was great, because now many people start doing this, and it's great because it's more like every day. Because Red Bull Rookies, okay, championship is a great opportunity, but only races. The academy is every day, so it's growing up every day. Yeah.
And the riding, obviously the ranch came a little bit later, obviously, but the whole development of the ranch to be able
Yeah.
to train and flat
Yeah,
track
it's
and
great track. You enjoy a lot, but also you have like mates. So when you are not alone, so you have more motivation.
yes, yeah, absolutely. You can see from the level of the people that have gone through the academy that it's definitely worked for sure. What's your favourite track?
My favorite track, Phillip Island and Mugello. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. And what is it about those tracks?
Yeah, Phillip Island is great because I love the layout, but also in the straight also is uh, is great because seems when you go up the straight before going down, it seems you go in the ocean. So this is amazing. The first 2 3 laps when you're just going not 100% focused, discovering the track is amazing. And Mugello also because like Phillip Island is very fast and also up and down. Uh, is a great layout. Yeah.
And is there a dream track that you've never ridden? Is there one that was on your list but you haven't been able to ride it yet?
I think Laguna Seca. Laguna
Yeah.
Seca and Spa. I would
Okay.
ride
Yeah.
there.
They both got some undulation as well.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
there's some up and down in those two tracks as well.
Yeah.
Your favorite rider growing up, was it Valentino or was it actually pre Valentino when you were growing up?
Yeah, I was Valentino, and then I like also the because I start racing with the number 34,
Okay.
and then I also in Superbike I was again in 34, and then I put the plus 3 plus 4, and Kevin Vance because it had a great style, was crazy and was like just riding, enjoying, and want to win the race. Okay, just go. No, no problem. If he had 10 seconds of margin, also he could crash.
Absolutely. He definitely wore his heart on his sleeve, didn't he? He was a fantastic battler for sure.
Yeah, just push and crazy style. Yeah.
Yeah, well, see God and then break, I think, was his famous line, wasn't it? Yeah. If you weren't racing motorcycles, what would you be doing?
Maybe, I don't know, maybe something with planes or no pilot, not motorcycle, but plane. Maybe plane, maybe working with like I like physics, no? Like also I was dreaming about going to the moon when I was a child,
Yeah.
like going the space, not to the moon, but going in the space, working for this space center. Yeah,
Okay. Yeah,
yeah,
great. So you've had an incredible journey so far, and it's long from over. We've got an exciting season coming up this season. If you had one piece of advice for a young rider that's watching this, who's dreaming to get to the world stage, what would it be?
yeah. For sure, the support of the family is very important, but you have also to like to transfer this passion to your family because my father was zero, but we was seeing, watching in my eyes, and many times said no, we stop, but I have much like gain to go on the motorbike was my life, so I wanted that it was my life. So you have to put in condition your parents or your friends to help you because it's a difficult journey, but is with the strength you will never give up. For sure, you have the opportunity because I didn't have friends or big friends helping me, just my parents. Then for sure, during this trip, I know also good and big people counting in this world, but I was coming from zero.
And so, is it that your parents have got to be on board with your dream, or is it a case of that everybody's pulling in the same direction?
Yeah, everyone. Then we were pulling in the same direction, and also now they have my same dream, and they have been helping me when they can a lot. Also with my trainings, um, when I need, they are always there. So many times I was like giving up, but for many. bad things about the world, but this world, I think, not just the motorbike, but in the big world, there are many bad things. So why give up what you love, your passion, because there are bad things? I think everywhere, not just in the motorcycle world.
Okay, good advice. Your social media, where can people follow your journey this season?
Yeah. For sure, in my social media, Instagram, Seven Balda, and my website. I think I will put also Instagram stories and posts, and my also MotoGP channel, B channel. Friday afternoon qualifying practice, I think, and then we have two races on Saturday. So Sunday for us, day off, just watching GPF. If some riders doesn't doesn't want to ride a bike,
You're available. You're
I'm
available.
available.
Yeah, exactly. And number 7. So you were number 34. What changed you to number 30? Number 7.
Yeah, my first race was not this number was not available, so I changed to 7, and then became my lucky number for
Yeah.
many reasons. So many I discovered during the year many like I don't know how to explain, but important things are with number 7, and also the frequency of this number in my life was very high. So I decided to keep this number.
Yeah. So it's a lucky
When I
charm.
can, I use it.
Sorry.
When I can, is available, I use it.
Yes.
Yeah, in
Yeah.
MotoE this year is available.
Perfect.
Yeah,
Perfect. Okay, Lorenzo. Well, it's been an absolute pleasure to have you today.
good.
We wish you all the best this season, and
Thank you.
thanks for joining us.
Follow me. Enjoy.
Okay, perfect. What an incredible conversation with Lorenzo. If you enjoyed this episode, do hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss an episode of the Camino Coach Show. Let us know in the comments what was your favourite part of the interview and who should we bring on next.